Hey gang, so here's part 2 of our 3-part series on FidgetBoy sliders. Clearly this is a sponsored video by FidgetBoy. Today is the WorkBoy, and this one's pretty interesting actually, because this is his silent slider, and when I first got it I thought, dude, that isn't silent. Like, that's one of the loudest ones I've ever heard. But then I talked to Jason, and he actually told me that it's designed to be silent. I mean, silent enough, right? Like silent-ish, as silent as these can get. But now I get it. So what's kind of cool about this is it's silent when you're in the office, and then when you step out of the office, like thundercrack from the 3D printed gods. But seriously, it's a silent slider. Pretty silent. All right, let's have a look, okay? Let's go. Okay, so here is the WorkBoy. So we've got, of course, our branding here, little FidgetBoy logo. So the thing about the WorkBoy is it's interesting because when you first grab it, you try to use it, or you would start to use it like a regular clicker. And in doing so, it's quite loud. But it was actually designed to be a silent slider, which seems counterintuitive, but if you just kind of use it by pressing, then you get a pretty quiet 3D printed slider. And the magnets, though, are still really, really strong. So a lot of times I find if sliders are trying to be silent sliders, they tend to be, the magnets tend to be a little weaker, because you don't want that force of it pulling something together really hard, and it's a little trickier to kind of move around, I guess, to just sort of smear like this. But this one is intended to be quiet if you need it to. So it just, I guess it just, in terms of all the other FidgetBoy sliders, this one is sort of marketed as the quietest. So again, it's not like completely quiet, but it's easier or quieter to use, I guess, if you're like in an office environment or something. This is probably not going to annoy as many people as this. And frankly, if you're doing this in an office full of people, you should leave. Go home. Nobody needs to hear this all day while they're trying to work. You know what I mean? So this is actually a nice little, kind of a little sneaky office slider, I guess. So the only issue I have with this, and it's one of those things that it happens sometimes it doesn't, but it does, I find it catches my skin. Now, right now, it is not, but it has in the past. It does. It's that thing, right? When you're trying to show something, of course, it won't show on camera, but the edges are a bit sharp here, so when you get your skin caught in there, it does kind of catch on. However, if you're using it silently, which is kind of what it's intended to be, then the skin catching, pinching thing isn't even an issue, because there's no opportunity for that to happen, because you're not really separating the plates. And again, that's why it's kind of so flat, and the grip is made, it's got such an intense grip pattern, so that your fingers can really get in there and just kind of smear it around. It is the old plate style, which I would love to see this in the new plates. I mean, frankly, I'd love to see all FidgetBoy products with the new plates, because I think they're awesome. But I'm guessing some of these things, like, that's a redesign, right? Like, that's not even just a, hey, slap new plates on. It's literally like, okay, now figure out a new magnet distance and spacing, and, with all this new plates and stuff, because when you take away parts of the inside plate, then of course you're making the magnets, like there's less plate between the magnet and air, I guess. I don't know, guys. I'm not an engineer. I'm not a scientist. I don't like put these things together, but you know what I mean. I just know it's not as simple to just do a whole, like even a minor change. It does change the performance. So that's my understanding. Bing. There's a thumbs up. Okay. Other than that, though, like I said, this is again, you know, all FidgetBoy products I've found up to this point are really good. Like they're great. They're designed really well. They always feel good in my hand, and the attention to detail is always what the hell am I trying to say? The attention to detail is great. Let's go with great. The attention to detail is great on these, always. I've never gotten one where, you know, there's some like weird pattern or texture or something that hasn't been addressed, or, you know, there's things sticking out, or you see striation patterns where there shouldn't be. Like, everything always looks nice. Oh my God, Sean, stop. You're rambling. Okay, so I'm going to stop rambling. It's put together well. How about that? Now, in terms of size, here's one of my favorites, the 01 EDC. This is the mechanical. Woo! And the WorkBoy is just a little bigger. Thickness, it's actually not quite as thick as the 01. This obviously weighs more because it's on 3D. And here it is against the Wanwu Year of the Rabbit. Now then we're into same size, roughly. It's a little bit thicker, right? Let's see that. But in terms of overall size, it's almost identical. So there you go. Everything you need to know about the FidgetBoy WorkBoy. It's great. It's fun. I carry it in my pocket. It's quiet and nobody knows. All right, gang. Thanks for watching.
And just get out.
Where's the recording light? Beep. Check. That's good. I hope so.